I was in the Army Reserves, joined in 2000 when I was 18 years old, served for roughly, I think, 17 years, didn't do the full 20. As a reservist, when you do 20 years, you still have to wait an additional 20 years before you're eligible for your retirement benefits. And so it just made more sense to go ahead and get out. And, maybe we can get into that in a little while. However, excuse me, my job initially was 31 Lima. They reclassed it at this point, but what that was cable systems installer and maintainer. I did that in Augusta, Georgia for AIT. At the time, that's what they were calling it. And then later, I transitioned into a 68 Juliet, which was medical supply and logistics. And I've been multiple places, mobilizations, deployments to Afghanistan, Kuwait, Germany, Africa, you name it. I've been there, and it was a great time, great experiences, a few ups and downs. But at the end of the day, it was a learning experience, and I'm glad I joined up. Yeah. So upon coming back from an active duty mobilization, um, I talked to some of the older soldiers, and they were talking about benefits and disability and things of that nature. And so I applied for disability benefits in 2011, I believe, all by myself. Didn't have anything but some of the conversations that other soldiers were telling me and pointing me in a particular direction. And I didn't receive a rating until maybe, I don't want to lie, but it was a few years later, maybe six, no, maybe about 4 or 5 years later. I think I actually got an actual rating. Could have been three, but it was the most difficult thing I've ever dealt with in my life. The paperwork, the appeals, the technical jargon that they use in the contracts. It's just hard to understand. I was getting rejected. I think I came with my initial thing was maybe 30 or 40%. So I appealed. I missed an appeal because I didn't up the window because I didn't understand the language, and other soldiers were giving me bad information. And so I had to start a particular claim over. And eventually I was able to get to about 60% by myself. And at that point, it just seemed like an uphill battle, couldn't get anywhere. And then that's when another soldier told me one day, hey, a company called Vet Comp and Pen at the time got me to 100%. I was like, 100%? Like, what do you? That's unheard of. And another guy told me the same thing. So he told me, and another guy said, okay, let me try this first with Vet Comp and Pen after our battle buddy had a positive experience. I watched one more soldier go through the process with Vet Comp and Pen, and it worked. And by the time I got involved, it was Trajector Medical. And so my journey from zero from 2011 up to the 60% was horrible. Doing it on my own, I was able to get there, but I wasn't able to move any farther than that. So now, after, and I'm not just saying this because we're on this call, but after getting or doing business with Trajector, it was a very simple process. It was easy. You have to trust the process. I have veterans now that I've shared the same information with, and they call me back. Man, they're asking me for my social. They're asking me for this information. Just trust them, man. They know what they're doing. They're going to be good stewards of that information. They're not being nefarious, but it just may take some time, but they will get you there and all of the additional benefits that are going to come with it. So the experience was wonderful, and I'm at 100% permanent total. And I couldn't be happier.